All right, hello everybody. I am going to show you some extra credit that you can do to wrap up the semester. And this extra credit is going to focus on looking at a type of fracture. In my case here, I'm going to model for you how to do this. And so I'm going to start off with my example here, which is on simple oblique fractures. And so on this first page here, what do you need to do? You need to have a title. You need to have an image that represents your fracture type, and then you should have your name as well too. Going into your presentation, I do want you to explain what a fracture is. You also need to explain what happens when a fracture is also being healed within the body. You'll also notice on this page, I have no words whatsoever, and that is a requirement of this extra credit. The only thing that you can do is speak to the images that you have in front of you without using words to read off a screen. Now, should you need a script nearby or some keywords nearby, that's fine to prompt you, but I don't also need you pulling a piece of paper off the side and doing this, reading off a piece of paper. So again, to point this out again here, you are only using high resolution images and then speaking to those images to the best of your ability to explain what is going on. So again, first slide here one more time, introduction of what you're talking about. Again, representative image, real easy. Then you get into talking about the fracture healing process as we learned in class. And then from that point, I then want you to dive into your fracture. When you do your fracture type, what I want you to do is I want you to approach it as a kind of a case study into two patients. So here's case study number one. And so in this case, this patient has undergone a fibular oblique fracture somewhere along the shaft portion of the fibula. And so you're going to point that out using things that you have available to you. I think you can see my mouse cursor here, hopefully, while this is recording. But point out that, hey, an oblique fracture is a fracture that happens at an angle. In your case, you're going to identify one, the bone, two, where the fracture is, and three, characteristics of that fracture. So again, as I'm going to model here, this is a fibular simple oblique fracture. Here's the fibula right here. The shaft portion of the fibula has been broken at an angle. From that point, what you then need to do is explain, as this is a case study, how did that happen for that patient? So this will require you to not just do a Google search image and then copy and paste, but it will require you to actually dive into the website that you found that image from and try to identify what happened to that patient. Should you not be able to find information about how that patient broke their bone, I then encourage you as an alternative to research how would such a fracture happen? How do, say in this case, fibular oblique fractures happen for patients? Finish with that, and then you got to do another round of that. So in this case here, I've got a humeral oblique fracture that has been displaced. Here is the humerus right here. You can see the angle of it has kind of where it's broken at, where the fracture is at. And it's displaced. This is something that we did not go over, but displaced means that it is out of alignment with the rest of the bone. And you can see later on in these images what had to happen for this patient to get it back in realignment. So again, in the same case here, explaining what the bone is, what type of fracture it is, and then hopefully, if found in your research, how did this patient have that fracture happen? Or if you can't find that, again, how do humeral oblique fractures often happen? What is the cause of injury for that? Notice that again on all these slides, I have not used any words whatsoever. I'm not reading off of a screen. I am simply talking to what I'm seeing here. So you might have to prepare some notes that you can quickly reference, or you might need to have a little mini script nearby. But again, I'm talking to the screen. I'm not just reading off of a piece of paper. So this is an option for you for extra credit. If you got questions, please let me know as soon as possible. We'll say it is due before our final. Have fun.